Yeah, but I mean, it's like, what was that? Is it the announcements made by the Fed? And, I know you've gotten some phone calls from our clients about being furloughed and things like that. Are you seeing anything on your end with these
With
recent?
the new administration? Like,
Yeah.
what are you seeing that affect the market at all? Or not the market, the lending side of the
Mhm.
market.
Not yet. We
Okay.
don't see that, but definitely the furloughs would definitely affect uh, people's qualifications, right? If somebody is in process of getting a mortgage and they get in furloughed, you cannot get a mortgage, right? Because
Right.
Okay.
you have zero income, you get a zero mortgage, pretty much. But definitely, all that uncertainty and whatever they're gonna do influence the market, maybe not immediately for us right now, but if they're gonna cut the grants, and it's definitely gonna affect some um, people, right? Not everyone, but
Yeah.
those that are looking for grants, they won't be able to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So does that federal funding freeze, if that does happen, because my understanding is it got paused by the Supreme Court or by some judge, if that does come into play, does that affect FHA and VA at all, or are those separate entities? That's not really a part of the grant aspect of the government, right?
Also, correct, yeah, and it all depends on what exactly is gonna happen. It could freeze and affect the approval process, because we use a lot of federal agencies to maybe do some background checks and
Mm.
others. So that could definitely affect the process of
Okay.
Mm.
getting the loan through, basically.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
And a furlough, is that like if you're seeing anybody get furloughed, are you seeing it that like they have a given time limit on how long they anticipate being furloughed? And if they do have that time limit, can they still qualify for a loan with that kind
So
of?
if you're on a furlough, that you cannot, they don't really tell you that you're gonna be furloughed for 3 days, right, or 10 days.
Yeah,
It's sort of indefinite, and we won't be able to lend to that person until they're back
that could
out of
work.
furlough. Because
Mhm.
even if they tell them the time frame, that could be extended, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So when there's uncertainty like that, until person goes back to work, they won't be able to get a mortgage.
Mhm.
Okay. And does a furlough affect future qualifications? So what I mean by that is, let's say that I work for a company that gets these funds. I got furloughed for 30 days, and then I'm back at work, and then 6 months from now I'm applying for a loan. Do you
Oh,
see
well, will
any
that
world where
pause in
they,
employment?
yeah, do you see any world where the lenders might start looking at, do you have a history of being furloughed at a risk of it happening again,
Yeah, that's a
and
good
that
question.
affect that income?
We don't look at it that way. The only way
Okay.
it could affect the income is for those who are on variable income. So if you're just on a set salary, it's one thing, right? Another thing is when you're on variable income, such as hourly employees, or maybe your commission, and what we do when we qualify someone like that, we average their income. So if
That,
your
yeah.
hours fluctuate and then you had that gap, right? So
Mhm.
now your
Yeah.
year-to-date income is lower than it was before. So I see how that could get affected, but again, we might get some sort of uh, instructions from agencies like Fannie,
Mhm.
Freddie, government, HUD for FHA, VA. So they might tell us that, okay, so it was extraordinary, it's not something that
Mhm.
happens all the time. It's out of client control and not their fault. So don't use that part, like average it over 3 months instead of 6 months, for example. But
Right, right.
I'm not saying that that's what will happen, but it could happen. It's
Yeah,
just gonna be their call, and we as lenders, we have to follow their guidelines, and that's
Yep.
even though maybe it's unfair and we believe that it shouldn't be this way, but if they dictate that this is how we need to calculate it, that's how we will calculate it.
Right.
Got it. Okay. Okay. So it's kind of a work in progress right now, just to kind of see how things play out and what's going to happen. So we're going to have to kind of stay on this over the next several months, just watching and seeing what's going on.
Yeah. And the best we can do at this point is just kind of, you know, listening to what's actually happening and then kind of putting our thinking caps on and seeing where this might lead and what could happen to try to get ahead of it as best we can, you know.
Right. Yeah.
We did have a wave of furloughs a while back. I can't remember right now when exactly, but in my 21-year career, I remember that happening. It doesn't happen too often, but it did, and I can't remember right now exactly, you know, how we how it played out with calculations. But I think, you know, when something like this happens again, the agencies are a little bit rusty on coming and telling how to do it, so they need to figure it out. Hopefully it's not gonna affect too many people, but in our area, it might.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Any other effects you've seen so far, or is that other than that, it's just kind of business as usual? Everybody's getting ready for the spring market and getting those pre-approvals and getting ready to go.
Exactly, it's just business as usual. It's just, you know, a lot of questions or what's gonna happen with interest rates, how new administration will affect that. It's really hard to tell. It could go either way, so nobody can really tell right now, and so we have to sit and wait and hope for the best.
Okay, so if you guys have any questions, let us know. And Tatiana, if they want to get in touch with you, how do they reach out to you?
Give me a call at 571-245-3000.
All right. See you next week.
See you. Bye.